Hello and welcome. The sun is setting and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys today with a live 1 versus 1 battle featuring spawning in the south. It's going to be the returning commander, the United Kingdom forces of 3imWeckla. And spawning in the north, it's going to be the Overcommand West forces of Itaperuna, who is a new commander to the channel. So welcome to these commanders. The map today is going to be L'Église Breakout, so a map that is pretty rare actually. So when I saw it top of the live games lobby, thought I'd check it out, bring you this map to the channel. It's a pretty wintry one, as you can see. We've got kind of a middle line of I don't know, sort of town village in the middle, featuring a lot of buildings, a lot of scope for machine guns and suppression effects to be felt there. And then to the south and north of the map, we've got slightly more open, sort of I don't know, snowy farmland kind of feel to the map. So seems like Itaperuna going to send his Max Schlepper out to the right hand side of the map here. It's going to be chilling here, so he's probably looking to establish a battle group at HQ, I would say, in a forward position, possibly. When I play this map, my favourite position for the battle group at HQ is usually just here. It provides a really nice place to fall back, and then your troops can just reinforce here before storming back on into the town. And it's also pretty close to all three of the objectives. If you look at the mini-map there, it's a pretty near spot. Anyway, got a scuffle developing somewhere. I heard some rifle fire. These Tommies appear wounded, but you know what? Have I learned my lesson? Weckla, have you done it again? Okay, no, he hasn't. Not yet. So, Weckla, of course, has previously demonstrated his tendencies to go 4 squads of Tommies and then research the 5-man squad upgrade. So he just basically gives the Brits what is really quite a strong opening game. I think it's Weckla who does that, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Yep, here's the 4th squad of Tommies coming up now. So let's see what he does. Itaperuna, he's actually mounting a fairly unusual commander, which we don't see used often. That's the Special Operations Doctrine. Now, this is actually a commander who I've been experimenting with a little bit more recently. I had initially written him off as just being kind of rubbish, and haven't played with him for some months, but I went back to him because actually a lot of his abilities look pretty relevant. If you have a look here, radio silence can be pretty spicy, and I think it only costs 35 munitions, so you can turn that on and attack across a wide front, really tax your opponent because your units aren't appearing on the minimap, so it can be very confusing for them. A couple of skirmishes going on at varying points around the map. We've got some Tommies. They're going to cause these Volkswagen Grenadiers to fall back. Meanwhile, here we've got some Tommies in a building. They've actually found the Max Schlepper, which is taking a reasonable amount of fire. Bear in mind, this thing gives out quite a lot of veterancy as well, so Itaperuna, got to be careful with that. And, I mean, he's going to turn it on the spot and have it trundle away. This is bad for 2 reasons. These rifles are now hitting the side and rear armor, which, believe it or not, will do more damage. And also, it took so long to turn that the truck's now on about half health, whereas if he just reverse move that back down here like this, just a simple reverse move, it probably would have been fine. Look, he's even going to turn it at the end here, so the reverse move would definitely have been the superior option. A lot of squads of Tommies converging on this position. I think 3imWeckla may be sensing blood in the water. If he pushes with all these Tommies, this guy's got to fall back, then he may be able to get the truck. It is uncertain at this stage. Some Storm Pioneers going to come into a good position. How is this guy not falling back? There he goes, but there could be a squad wipe here. If Itaperuna's paying attention, he needs to focus the squad. No, he's going to get his unit into the building. There could have been a squad wipe going there. Of course, a squad wipe on Tommies is pretty important. Anyway, all these Tommies going to fall back, simply because there are enough Axis forces here to be quite a concern now. Up to 5 Tommy squads now is Weckla. 5. Really, Weckla? What kind of monster are you? This is just insanity. I mean, the British Forces infantry section right now is probably among... It's either the or joint the best performing infantry unit in the game, I would say. American Riflemen, after the series of buffs they got in recent patches, they're now incredibly good, particularly when they pick up some veterancy. But I think I would say that Tommies maybe outperform them. I'm not sure if I'm correct on that, but certainly Tommies feel like they outperform them, and I think Tommies in heavy cover definitely outperform Riflemen. So anyway, seems like we've got some Storm Pioneers going to catch some Tommies on the right flank. That's going to force a fallback from the British player, and this is just the kind of thing that you have to put up with when you're playing as allies. Storm Pioneers are very, very potent units, and if they catch you round a blind corner, or if they manage to advance on your expensive allied infantry, then you have to respect the Storm Pioneers and you have to fall back. To do anything else invites serious losses, and also will see a lot of veterancy put onto those Storm Pioneers. And believe me, you do not want Storm Pioneers to reach 2 stars. Once they reach 2 stars, they do a lot more damage, and that means they tend to reach 3 stars and 4 stars, and then really bad things start happening. So yeah, you don't want to give veterancy to the Overcommand engineers if you can avoid it. Now, tempting to place some mines here in a decent position, but going to get found out by a couple of squads of Tommies. And the Storm Pioneers, when they're building, they are incredibly vulnerable. So one of them's going to go down there. Whoa. Some mines, I believe, being detonated here. Only one Tommy going down, though, so Weckla getting pretty lucky. The battle group at HQ has come down in this position, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that I don't really like this position. The reason I don't like this position is that if you're going to make this point here your forward fallback point, can I ping? No. If you're going to make that building your forward fallback point, which if you're building it this far forward, you'd like to do so at some point in the game. Basically, he's just given himself a massive run distance. If you look at the minimap here, to the left-hand victory point. So sure, he's going to have a really good crack at the right-hand 2 victory points, but the left-hand one is so far away. I just think that we're going to see that in British hands from the majority of the game, and I never like just saying to your opponent that they have a safe victory point on the map. That's why on this map I prefer to deploy my battle group at HQ here, because it gives you a sort of equidistant striking range pretty much at all 3 of the victory points. So your opponent, it's a lot harder for your opponent to predict where you're going to go. Anyway, this is still a decent position. Building here is in a good position. I'd love to see a Kuba wagon come out for Itaperuna. I know the Kuba wagon is not a popular choice right now, but I still build 1 or 2 almost every game, and I pride myself a little bit on my micro with the Kuba wagon. I usually keep it alive to reach 2 stars, 3 stars, that kind of stuff. And I just think that the spicy little scout car is actually a pretty good unit. Also, unless you're going to go for a doctrine which has an MG34, the Kuba wagon's more or less your only source of machine gun-based suppression when you play as the Overcommand. So I think it pays to be competent and pays to exploit that unit where you can. Anyway, some Tommies on the right flank. They're going to be making a land grab using the medkits. Looks like we've got 3 of medkits, 1 of pyrotechnics flares. Looks like we are not seeing the 5-man squad upgrade this game. Seems like the platoon command post coming online now. Sorry, that's online indeed. So we've got Royal Engineers on the field, a 6-pounder coming up behind it. Here comes a number of Royal Engineers. Oh no, they're going to find these Storm Pioneers. This is a simple test of how fast can you press fullback on these units. Itaperuna, you're losing. Oh, that is test failed. Sorry, Itaperuna. You need to be faster than that. So he's going to lose the expensive engineer squad. And wow, finding himself in a bit of a deficit position now, Itaperuna. He's also floating 550 manpower. This is very strange. Not really sure what he's playing for with that. Tommy's in good cover here. They're going to do some damage to these Volksgrenadiers, and we might have some more scuffles developing over here. Incendiary grenade going to come out in a reasonable position, get some damage onto these Tommies, but enough Tommies are going to survive that these Volksgrenadiers are going to have to get out. But if you look at the top left, look at the top right, look at the supply numbers. It's 20 for the Axis, 39 for the United Kingdom forces. That's because we're seeing 4 squads of Volksgrenadiers trying to take down 5 squads of Tommies with Royal Engineers and a 6-pounder. So things looking grim for Itaperuna. Weckla once again showing that the Brits can have quite a strong early game. And oh my goodness, there's a distant chance for us. Nope, they've decided to run this way. I was going to say distant chance for a squad right now. That would have been horrible. Anyway, another incendiary. No, this is the grenade barrage, of course, because we've got the Scavenge Doctrine Commander coming down. That's going to force these Tommies back. Royal Engineers in a decent position. Of course, you really want some Tommies in this building, not Royal Engineers, but you know, I'm sure he's doing what he can. Is Weckla. Let's see if we've got the forward fallback research coming down. No, not yet. Oh no, sorry, no, that has been researched and is indeed active. So Itaperuna, I'd say a Ligue gun is going to be quite a spicy choice. He could just set the Ligue up, like, I don't know, behind this wall or just tucked in here, and it would be able to rain fire on a number of British units if he was able to, you know, keep turning it. And I just feel like he's a little beleaguered right now, is Itaperuna. Nothing he can't recover from, and he's kind of beginning to do that. Starting to spend his manpower a bit more, but he's keeping this constant float. I mean, this is a unit that's not on the field, or 2 of Volksgrenadiers. This is a lot of manpower to just be randomly floating at, like, you know, throughout the game, pretty much. Now, I don't know, maybe he has a plan for this. Maybe he just likes the ability to be able to deploy Jaeger light infantry out of any building. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it here, but I'm struggling to find a reason. Anyway, Royal Engineers here. They're gonna, I think they were just defusing those mines quickly. Anyway, these Volksgrenadiers gonna get back and into cover behind this sort of water trough here, but there are some Tommies coming up from behind them, so this position not gonna be good for long. And fuel point being grabbed, so he needs to grab this victory point, and then I think he'll be in a decent position as Itaperuna. The scoreline's more or less even, about 9 points between the players right now. The Axis player, actually he's 8 ahead now, 460 over 452, so nothing to write home about there, and I kind of get the feeling that despite the shonky opening, Itaperuna, I might just call him Peruna. Peruna is stabilizing. Now here's a Schwerer Maxschlepper, that appears to be reversing. He's gonna... Okay. So the 3imWeckla truck here is going to deploy into the Schwerepanzer HQ in this location. So we're going to have a gun here. Now, the reason this confuses me for two reasons. First of all, you never want to block this road here. This is a crucial artery for manoeuvring your armor later on in the game, and I find it very hard to play from the northern spawn if you've got a building blocking this. This is going to be actual nightmares. I mean, he's going to have to bring his tanks around here, and there they can get snared on fences, buildings, walls, all kinds, or up through here. The same applies. And the other thing is, this building has got a massive gun on it, as we see a run through of 3 Tommy squads here, another Royal Engineers down on the right there. But by deploying this building here, look, there's a giant wall to the left of it, and that is going to catch a lot of shots. So I don't think I don't think it's actually covering this victory point. If you wanted to deploy this so aggressively, then like here would have been better, or like I think just here would have been really good. So anyway. It's going to turn the fight to begin with, though. Going to force back a number of Tommies, get itself some damage dealt with that Schwerepanzer HQ. And Obersoldaten, the weapon of choice here for Itaperuna. So we're going to see the elite infantry for the overcommand come to the field. Now those guys are pretty spicy. We don't see them very often. The reason being, they've actually been, I believe they were nerfed, because they used to be very, very good. So they actually now aren't really very effective. I mean, they're a 4-man squad. They cost 400. The reinforced cost is high. The reinforced time is high. You have to buy them a 60 munition LMG for them to even feel like at all valid. And until they reach 2 stars of veterancy, they're really just another squad of Volksgrenadiers, which is a problem. That's not entirely true. They can throw bundle grenades. They can also booby trap points, and that booby trap point ability, by the way, one which oft forgotten about, but is very good. I use it all the time. Love that ability. It's one of the main reasons why this scavenge doctrine is one of my favourites, because of course Fallschirm Light Jaeger, the Jaeger Light Infantry, they can also booby trap points. Just pausing here for a sip on my drink. Now, somehow, if you look at the minimap, you can see the story. Itaperuna has actually managed to do pretty well on the left and right sides of the map, securing himself a phase of dominance there where he was holding all 3 victory points. Now, that's opened up about a 30-ticket lead. So that's pretty good, 35-ticket lead. So that's pretty good. Now 40-ticket lead, counting for the win. Anyway, a good line, a good firing line here of British forces, all in the yellow cover. That's going to be giving them the rate of fire bonuses. These Volksgrenadiers on the right going to have to fall back, and that's pretty much going to enable these British forces to chew up a lot of land around here. There's a fuel point, there's a victory point. He can make some gains here. Meanwhile, on the left flank, random harassing Volksgrenadier squads, doing their best to take points and harass these British Tommies. And I'm amazed, really, that Itaperuna is doing so well, because Volksgrenadiers just don't stand up against British infantry sections. They just don't. But he's just kind of using them in a non-committal way. He's not actually trying to take these fights necessarily. He's just making use of them to take ground and slow down and ensnare the superior British forces. Here comes an incendiary grenade. Oh no, it's a grenade barrage. Oh, mostly getting some misses, but falling that squad back. That, of course, is not very accurate, and right now I can hear the British bases using concentrated fire. The 25-pounders are firing shots in. Not quite sure where those are landing right now. Oh. Okay, so they're coming down around here. Let's see, Obersoldaten, let's see how these guys are going to do. They're getting stuck in pretty close range here, though, too close, I would say. Possibly an opportunity for a bundle grenade. This is quite the concentration of British infantry. The bundle grenade comes down, it could be really good. Nope, a fallback. Going to save all of those Tommies, I think. So, I suppose forcing 2 squads of Tommies back for the cost of one of your squads falling back and 45 munitions, not so bad, especially when the British player has to fall all the way home. And to that end, actually, building a forward fallback point for the British forces, possibly just tucked in here, or if you want to play it super safe, I suppose. I don't know, actually. I suppose here is pretty safe, actually. So that would be pretty cool. Actually, I tell you what, if you put your forward fallback point here and build a mortar pit here, then this entire area becomes mortarable. Oh god, I would love for Weckla to do that. Please, Weckla, please. Build a mortar pit here. Come on, join the dark side. You know you want to do it. Everyone says mortar pits are rubbish, but I use them game in, game out, and they are always great. I really like the mortar pits. Always great's probably exaggerating it, actually. I've probably had a mortar pit or two underperform over the games, but very seldom. Anyway, got a fight here for the central victory point. Volksgrenadiers kind of outnumbering their foes at this point. Whoa, this 2-star squad needs to fall back, and he does. Incendiary grenade going to come down, and wow, it seems like every time the British player takes a fight, he's getting forced back by intensive munition spending. And here's some more from Itaperuna. Now, this can only last so long, and we're kind of at that point. Itaperuna's munitions are now redlining, or flatlining, or whatever you want to call it. Redlining means really high, doesn't it? Because that's like on a rev gauge on a car. I mean flatlining, that means nothing. Anyway, that is the sound of a Cromwell. That's the fuel spending of choice. I like this, it's a good all-rounder, and at the moment I feel like Weckla wanted to be proactive with his fuel spending, get some advantage, try and move out and make a move happen. He can't afford to wait here. Wow, he's going to get a squad wipe straight away. The tank commander upgrade has come down, and you can already kind of feel the effects of its accuracy there. You've got to feel like a T-34 or a Panzer IV would never have made that hit.
All infantry squads can have an additional infantryman.
So, let's see, we've got some Volksgrenadiers being harassed here by some Tommies. Here comes the Cromwell to try and clean them up. Now, he does have one Panzerschreck, and he's now queued up 2 Rakettenwerfers. Kind of feel like this was a little bit late. You've got to expect your opponent's going to do something with armor. So these Rakettenwerfers, bit of a knee-jerk reaction. 1 Panzerschreck is reasonable. He's been spending a lot of munitions elsewhere. He's got LMG-34 on his Obersoldaten and stuff. So, and he's been using a lot of grenades. So I'm kind of amazed he even has this 1 Panzerschreck, actually. It gets a good hit as well, so beginning to work away this this Cromwell. So let's see now. Obersoldaten going to redeploy to the left. Another hit from the Panzerschreck onto this Cromwell. That's going to bring these Volksgrenadiers up to 3-star. All good stuff there. Both of the Rakettenwerfers, they are now on the field, so we can look to see the anti-tank gun for the Overcommand faction, hopefully start doing some work soon. I'm just going to move the camera down so that you can take in the fact that these Tommies are also leading the charge there in the background. Obersoldaten flanking in from the left. The Tommies are probably going to catch this Rakettenwerfer, and that's frustrating. Uh-oh, squad wipe could be going on these Volks, and they're the ones who have the Panzerschreck. He's taking fire. He makes it out of there. That was a tense moment, and I feel that could have been a game changer. If he'd have killed that man, not only is that a 3-star Volk squad down, that would have been his opponent's only Panzerschreck out as well. So that was a crucial moment right there. Anyway, Tommy's making a land grab on the right. Looks like Weckla's trying to get himself out from under this deficit, which he finds himself 135 tickets behind right now. So somehow Itaperuna just making it happen with what I can only describe as a fairly loose style. I'm not really sure what he's doing here. He's mostly just kind of fending with infantry, and it seems like every fight I look at, I'm like, yep, that's a fight Itaperuna's going to lose. Tommy's in good cover, you know, like good British units doing good British stuff. And then Itaperuna just throws a load of grenades, and all the British units have to fall back. So he's actually kind of dominated the map. And I'm not saying that this is a fluky or bad playstyle at all. It just feels a little counterintuitive. I look at fights and I think, oh my goodness, Weckla's totally going to take this, and then he totally doesn't. Anyway, he needs to repair this Cromwell. It's been sat here for a long time. We've got some engineers sat by idle. In fact, speaking of idle, we've got a lot of units being idle, so I feel like Weckla's multitasking really being taxed here. In a way I've never seen before. He's normally quite the potent British commander. Does he have the 5-man squad upgrade? Yeah, that has finished now. Base 25 pounders. Looks like they're going to be opening fire. The flare is here, so not many units still in position. All of the Axis forces gonna GTFO there. The Cromwell's going to come in, try and hound down this Volks unit, and that's actually something it could do. He could turn and decide to hound it some more. Now he's going to reverse and let the engineers tend to that tank because it is fairly wounded right now. This Rakettenwerfer in a slightly dodgy position, has to watch out for the 25-pounder fire, which is hooning in right now. Oh, here it comes. Nope, just kind of hammering the church. These Volksgrenadiers taking the victory point on the right. The British player now down to less than 300 points. So he's making it happen, is Itaperuna now. He has 150 fuel stocked. He could call in an Ostwind, he could call in a Panzer IV, or he could wait for another 25 fuel and get a Panther. But you know what? It feels like he's not going for any of those. It feels like he's going to try and ride it out for a King Tiger. The reason I say this is he has all of his tech trucks online right now. He's got fuel conversions set to, well, he's got fuel resource conversions, like, on. Wow, these are Obersoldaten actually beginning to do really good damage from this position. Somehow able to hit those Tommies from around the directional cover and mow down a few of them. Now, they're going to fall back. Taking no chances with the expensive elite infantry is Itaperuna. So they're going to be out of that fight, but quick to rejoin, seeing as how the forward fallback point is so close. And I really think, right, honestly, I think that the correct play right now is to establish a forward fallback position here with a mortar pit somewhere around here, and just start raining mortars on this building. Because let me tell you, as an Overcommand player, when you're playing as Overcommand and your opponent has indirect fire pieces within range of your battle group at HQ, things feel really bad, because every time you're falling back your fragile squads, you're just risking them being squad wipes just by sending them back to reinforce, because there's just random mortar shells falling down all over your fallback point. And sometimes you have to make a judgment call and say this is not worth it, and turn that fallback point off and send everything back home, which is also a win for your opponent. So anyway, Obersoldaten coming back into the fight. The elite infantry nearly at that critical 2 stars where they actually start doing well for themselves. So 2 stars, of course, that's when they get increased accuracy and weapon control. So that's the like tipping point in my book when they actually go from being sort of a bit meh to being quite pokey against infantry. Now Peruna finds himself actually kind of almost as back against a wall here. The British forces have pushed up really hard on the left-hand side of the map, and this is a weakness of having your battle group at HQ deployed on the right here. It makes it very hard for your units to access the left side of the map there. And Weckla, sensing this weakness, he's deployed the Cromwell and a number of infantry squads over there, and they have taken the entire of that half of the map. And this is now enabling the British forces to focus on delivering the hammer blow to the Axis strong point here. Good grenade package comes down. That's going to kill a number of British infantry here. We could see more grenade packages coming over the walls. Whoa, Weckla, that was a preemptive fallback. I don't know about that. These 2 squads were still in fighting condition, I would have thought. Maybe I feel like that was a bit of a panic fallback, and I'm not sure. There were 2 squads of Tommies there, which could still be contesting this area, and you don't want to just let the Axis player have all this ground, especially when you're behind on score. So. Not sure about that from Weckla. It could be that he was trying to fall back the wounded squad, did a band select like this, you can see on the screen. Actually, let me put it in context. So lots of Tommy units here, and there's like 1 2-man squad, and he couldn't quite click it or something, so he did a band select and hit T, and then accidentally fell back too many squads. So that's another potential explanation for that. Squad of Royal Engineers here could start being cheeky. I'd love to see them just grab this point, actually. Looks like they're gonna come around here. I hope he remembers that this Schwerer Panzer HQ is here, but yeah, he does, okay. So, oh look, they're just going to try and get the drop on these Volksgrenadiers. That's pretty spicy, loving that. Meanwhile, on the right flank, the Cromwell comes back. How is that thing not 1 star yet? Eh? It's like no star. Oh, this is the 1-star Cromwell. This is a second Cromwell. Right, props for paying attention. But 100 fuel has been spent on a Werferman. And look how risky this placement is here. Can he reverse through here? I don't think he'll fit it through there, which means all the Cromwell has to do is drive up here, endure a tank shell and a Schwerer Panzer shell to the face, hit this thing. I think it'll 1 or 2 hit the Werferman, and then get out. Anyway, this fresh tank is actually being whittled down by a simple Panzerschreck. That thing's at less than half health, so got to take care of that. Meanwhile, a fight in the centre of the map for the central VP. Tommy's here, going to get that decapped. So Weckla gets himself out from under the clock. 2-star Obersoldaten going to start flying their deadly trade from in cover here. Now look, so you can see the damage they're doing. And now that they're 2-star, that's when the difference comes in. They are taking a toll on these Tommies. They need to think about falling back soon though, because there are only 2 men left in that squad, both wounded and in a bad way there, so they're going to have to get out of there sooner rather than later. Anyway, these Volksgrenadiers are going to lose this fight every day against Tommies in soft cover. 3-star Tommies in soft cover, pretty good against Volksgrenadiers. These Volksgrenadiers here could think about some grenades, and they do. There's the barrage. The Tommy's just going to... See, now, I'm not sure why he's just going to fall these back. I mean, because when your fallback point is all the way back here, that's like a minute that these units are not going to be in the fight. So, again, I really think that the choice for Weckla should be a forward fallback point here with a mortar pit just in front of it, and that would be such pressure, like such pressure. I just think that would totally scupper the Axis operations. Anyway, the Werferman has about another 15 seconds or 17 seconds left until it's going to fire again. So need to look out for that. This 1-star Cromwell still anchoring the left-hand side of the map. And the resources, if we look at this, it's 15 fuel and 11 munitions. That's with fuel conversion versus the 32 fuel and 47 munitions of the British player. So Weckla right now is ahead on resources but behind on score. And finding this Axis hardpoint here on the minimap, as you can see, this Axis hardpoint here quite difficult to break. Pineapple gonna be... oh no, sorry, that was a pyrotechnics flag gonna be thrown onto the church. So you can hear the British base 25 pounders. They're firing in this location. These Obersoldaten need to be very careful. Not sure about this. Whoa! That shell was so close. Landed very nearby the elite soldiers there, and they need to take care because where they're standing is the source of a lot of heavy fire. I feel like this squad here was hit by a shot as well. Uh-oh, these Volksgrenadiers getting super low. They're 4-star. They've got a Panzerschreck. They need to fall back. Too many Tommies here. There we go. They're going to fall back. Weckla once again though under the clock. Those Tommies going to push forward and grab the victory point. I'm just looking around in the Axis lines here. Here comes a Werferman barrage. Seems like it's headed over here. And that will be a miss. Bit of a guesstimate there. One thing I've learned with the Werferman is I only take a shot when I'm sure my opponent's going to be under it, or if I'm very desperate, I guess. So that shot there, gonna miss. The recharge time's like 100 seconds, I believe, yeah. About 100 seconds there, so over 1.5 minutes till he's going to be able to try for that again. Obersoldaten going to get into a decent position in cover on the right here. They're going to try and face off against these Tommies. The Tommies are in heavy cover though. Obersoldaten get themselves up to 3 stars. Now what does that enable them? It heals them when they're out of combat and increases their survivability. So maybe this is a fight the Obersoldaten are going to take. Meanwhile, a fight in the center of the map. We've got 2 squads of Tommies, number of Volksgrenadiers kind of rallying to deal with them. I'd like to see them fan out into some of this light cover in this marketplace here, even grab this building which still has enough health to be useful. Here comes a Cromwell, and still only 1 Panzerschreck on the Volksgrenadiers. I mean, Itaperuna, he's been oh wow, an Ostwind is the call in. Didn't see this coming. What? What? Peruna's just doing his own thing out here a little bit, actually. This is a sort of a mad strat. I mean, I like it. It's really unpredictable. It's really cool. The Ostman as well is going to be super useful. He's got enough Rakettenwerfers together with this Panzerschreck that I feel like he kind of has anti-tank covered. So, yeah, the Ostman's kind of a smart choice, actually, especially against the very expensive British infantry. And I'm just going to point it out. Forward fallback point here, mortar pit around here would be pretty strong right now. Yep, I know the Germans could push it, but you've got to feel if you've got a forward fallback point here, you can push right back. And actually, you know what? You could even just take the Vanguard Operations Regiment, land the glider on this massive open strip here. You could just have it land here. Get that to be your forward fallback point. Grab yourself a mortar pit anywhere around here. And anyway, I'll shut up about it sooner or later, but I just feel like that would be a really cool thing to do. Actually, he could even research a Beaufort and get that set up to make that a real hard point. And I know what you're all thinking, yeah, the Beaufort was nerfed to hell, but actually, have you guys tried it? Because it's actually still really good. Bundle grenade coming down, good fallback here from Weckla. These Obersoldaten now at risk of being wiped, actually. The 3-star Tommies a little too close. 2 Obersoldaten going to run for it. 1 should make it out. Oh, he's getting low though. Those Tommies are so accurate, very vicious when they're in cover. And the Ostman going to come in. That's going to force the fallback here from Weckla, who's still playing it very defensively with his infantry. The score lines right now, 377 for the Axis player, 247 for the Allied player. So Peruna still with quite the healthy lead to work with here, and still, despite having like none of the resources on the map, is occupying the 2 victory points, so just bleeding his opponent down. Now, the question you have to ask is this strategy sustainable? Because British players, when they're allowed to have a lot of fuel, have an absolutely menacing late game. And Weckla has a number of... Whoa, some good hits there. Weckla has a number of commanders which have access to the Crocodile. He has the Vanguard and the Special Tactics. And a Crocodile on a map like this, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that's good. Very enclosed, very close quarters, very claustrophobic. A Crocodile, this is a Crocodile hunting ground here in the middle of the map. Tommy's going to take out one of the Rakettenwerfers, and that is dangerous times. There is not much AT here for Peruna now. 1 Rakettenwerfer, 1 Panzerschreck, and arguably the Ostwind, but I'm not even going to pretend that will do anything against a Cromwell, anything of consequence anyway. So these 2 Cromwells, there are 2 Cromwells out here actually. This is dangerous times now for the Overcommand player. I feel like if Weckla's going to make a move with these Cromwells, it has to be now, because he's just killed that Rakettenwerfer. A fresh one, a replacement, has been made. Where is this replacement? Oh no, he just had to. Oh no, what the? Oh no, this is either a missed movement point or something. Yeah, they're going to fall back. Those 2 Rakettenwerfers did not want to be there. They just found themselves miles out in fog of war, totally unsupported and surrounded by 4 British squads. Never what you want to happen. Unless you're just trying to give them a way to free up some unit cap, but pretty sure that is not what Peruna's all about just now. Anyway, the 2 Cromwells are still doing pretty well actually. One of them's on 2-star, one of them's on 1-star. They're both being looked after pretty well. They're both on full health. The Ostwind is going to be repaired right now. Good, we're going to have another Werferman barrage in a couple of seconds. Crucially, the Werferman has achieved a veterancy level 1. That enables it to fire barrages like substantially more frequently. I think it knocks like 15 seconds off the recharge time for the barrage. 4-star these Obersoldaten. They have started to pay for themselves at 4-star. They increase survivability again. And then now they suppress. Yeah, 4-star is when they start being really G. When you get a Panzer II Lukes or a squad of Obersoldaten up to 4-star, I think it is, they start to suppress. I think it's 4-star for the Lukes as well. They start suppressing, and that changes them into a very different unit. Speaking of the Panzer II, here we have the plucky little Panzer now. And the British forces are going for a Comet. Oh, I just feel like Peruna does not have enough respect for the tanks of his opponent here. I just don't see any... I don't see sufficient anti-tank... Oh, Gammon Bomb coming down. Boom. Obviously we have Hammer Tactics researched for Weckla because he's got a Comet coming as well. Of course, a Comet is basically a Cromwell, but with a little bit more armor. I believe it's faster, and it also has that high-velocity gun on it, which is dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. Anyway, the Werferman barrage is ready. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to keep an eye on the recharge time now. So it's firing now. Where's it firing? Kind of over here. So the recharge time is now still 100 seconds. I'm confused. Maybe it's usually 110 or 120 seconds? Because I'm pretty sure at 1-star veterancy it gets increased ready time, yeah. Allowing them to be fired with greater frequency. So, 100 seconds with veterancy 1 apparently is the deal. Whoa, these Obersoldaten are 5-star now. Oh yeah, that means that they're like turbo stim Obersoldaten. Oh, look at them go. This is just a passive stim pack that they get. If anyone out there who plays StarCraft 2, you know, Terran forces, you know, they get the stim pack. It's the stuff. The stim pack. It's quintessential. Just makes your... oh no, this Luke's is just dead. Come on, Comet. Take him down. Oh, it's a miss! The plucky Luke's! Get out of there, boy! Oh no, this Cromwell's going to have him. He's going to have him. He's going to have him! Yep, and there he goes. Here come the Typhoons. The Vanguard Operations Regiment has been chosen. The Typhoon's going to do a number on these anti-tank platforms. That leaves this Osman totally exposed. It's going to get taken down by the tanks of the British player, I think. Oh my god, it somehow survives. But things beginning to fall apart a bit here for Peruna. He stands to lose his entire forward position and his buildings. When that happens, well, it's just really bad. Anyone who plays Open Command can tell you it is awful times. So the Schwerpanzer HQ is being worked down right now by the Cromwells. There's the Comet at the back is being repaired. Obersoldaten coming forward into a decent position. They're going to start suppressing these Tommies who have now secured the middle victory point. A couple of Rakettenwerfers going to come forward, but too little too late. And the Schwerpanzer HQ is forfeit. Now this building here is awkwardly on fire. Oh, and seemingly, I'm guessing Peruna has GG'd there. I cannot wait for them to patch something in to tell me for sure who's GG'd, but that has to be Peruna who's GG'd there. Feel like that was a bit premature. When you're leading at 315 over 233, you've got some time to work with. A lot of your units are still alive, and you've got some fantastic units to work with. But perhaps he feels like the writing is on the wall, because in the face of 3 cruiser tanks, and he's only got 2 Rakettenwerfers, and the Panzerschreck Volks have died. So 2 Rakettenwerfers does not beat 3 cruiser tanks. So I would say a good game there from both players. Peruna making this awkward battle gripper positioning actually work by just focusing his attentions on the right-hand side. But I think by putting your battle gripper HQ here, you're saying that you really want to try and win this game the hard way, as in by taking only 2 of the victory points for the majority of the game, and that is a slow victory. And you do not want to go for a slow victory against the British forces, because they will just steamroll you. They just will. You can't let the British forces get into the late game with all these resources. You have to say to yourself, I'm going to contend with them. I'm going to be on the aggressive. I'm going to stop them from getting into that sweet British position where they can just cherry pick an elite force and beat you down. So I think positioning a battle group at HQ here just says I'm going to give the Brits enough time and probably enough resources that this is going to be a very difficult game. So I think putting this here, very, very tricky. And I know it's not far. Look, it's like 2 screens worth. But if you put it here, your forces are much more free to strike at this command point. They're still as easy to strike at this command point, and I would say pretty much as easy to strike at that command point, you know? Like, the travel times are just much more balanced when you have your position here. I know there's also a good ring of buildings around here to defend it from. And for Weckla, again, another good game. He's clearly a strong British player. My only sadness here from him is that he did not establish a forward fallback point and a mortar pit here earlier, or indeed at all, because I just think that once you get a mortar pit in range of your overcommand players' base trucks, like, the game just turns into hilarity mode, because you know you're just hitting them right where it hurts the whole time you're actually fighting them as well. And it's just, I don't know, it feels pretty good when you're playing as Brits and your mortars are killing her base anyway. And you just get, like, occasionally it'll just say, like, ah ha ha, we killed a squad, or whatever. I love the way I can't do a good British accent. What was that? But, yeah, you just hear your mortar pits say, yeah, we killed another squad, because you're hitting their retreating units. It's just awesome. Anyway, that concludes this battle. Thank you very much to our 2 players. Thank you very much to everybody at home for watching, and this is Magpie842 signing out.